MAP, or Making Access Possible, is a global initiative to help people gain access to financial services. Among those countries set to benefit is Myanmar, a country with considerable but as yet unrealised potential for development. Myanmar's average per capita income is just $3.50 per day. The national objective is to reduce poverty from its current level of 26% down to 16% by 2015. Myanmar has a population of 51 million, 70% of whom live and work in the countryside, but who earn half that of the urban workforce. The government wants to encourage an increase in agricultural productivity to augment income in the countryside and increase domestic food security. It also wants to see growth in small businesses, but in order to achieve these objectives, people need access to financial services. Currently, just 3% of adults have insurance, 6% hold savings, and 19% access loans from regulated financial service providers, while 31% borrow from unregulated lenders who tend to be more costly. Many are forced to borrow from unregulated lenders because they don't have the collateral needed to secure a loan. The development and expansion of a new network of banks, microfinance institutions and cooperatives that offer financial services, such as unsecured loans or loans that don't require collateral, will help to increase the availability of credit in the market. They also want to extend other financial services to enable the population to conduct their financial lives more efficiently, increase income, manage risks, and build up wealth over time. Financial inclusion will also place more money in the hands of formal financial institutions, making this money available for national investment in economic growth. The team behind the Making Access Possible, or MAP initiative, has divided the adult population into 5 categories to identify the different needs of each category in depth. First, farmers, who farm their own or family land and make up 1/5 of Myanmar's population, while constituting the largest part of Myanmar's economic activity. While 37% of farmers already borrow from regulated financial service providers, there is clearly additional demand for credit, with a further 25% still seeking loans from family, friends or moneylenders. Furthermore, while farmers want to be able to protect themselves against risks such as natural disaster leading to crop failure, only 2% have official insurance. A further 6% have insurance through unregulated insurers, and a massive 42% rely on their own savings or family and friends in times of crisis. If appropriate insurance products were in place, those savings could be used for investment. In contrast to our farmer, our second group, self-employed people operating their own formal enterprises, have comparatively high use of financial services. If you combine their demand for both regulated and unregulated services, the figures for insurance stand at 12% for business owners compared to 8% for farmers, or 25% for savings compared to 11%, and 33% for payments products compared to 12%. However, while only 38% of farmers have no access at all to credit, that figure is 74% for formal business owners, severely limiting their opportunities to grow their businesses. Then there are those self-employed people operating informal enterprises. Their reliance on unregulated credit is almost twice that of their formal counterparts. 21% coming from unregulated providers compared to 12% for those with formal businesses. Given the nature of informal enterprises, it will be difficult for commercial banks to serve this group, and as they are located in both urban and rural locations, it's expected that more than one type of provider will be needed to meet their needs. Our fourth group, formal consumers, is made up of both government and private company employees. Government employees have the highest take-up of regulated insurance services and the second highest take-up of savings and payment services of all sectors. However, high usage of unregulated savings, in other words, stashing their savings at home or with family and friends, signals demand for additional products. Private employees, meanwhile, are predominantly young and urban. They have growing credit needs for car and house finance, as well as other consumer finance, which could be provided by private banks. And perhaps surprisingly, they currently save with unregulated institutions or at home with family, so the banks could offer them better savings products. From a payments perspective, this group is likely to lead the shift to a more consumer-driven market and could be the first group to adopt electronic payment instruments. Our final category is informal consumers, made up of farm and casual workers. This group has the lowest take-up of financial services, both regulated and unregulated. Only 7% have insurance, 8% have savings, and 9% use payment systems other than cash. The only exception is unregulated borrowing. They depend on credit from unregulated moneylenders, 27%, or from family and friends, an additional 14%, to meet most of their financial needs. The MAP initiative will use the information gathered about each of these 5 groups to improve access to financial services for all sectors of Myanmar's population. Our goal is to increase financial inclusion in Myanmar from 30% in 2014 to 40% by 2020, by which time it's hoped there will be a range of affordable, quality and effective financial services available that will help grow Myanmar's economy to the benefit of all her people.